This episode is sponsored by Pound Fun, but more on that a little bit later in the episode. Hi everyone and welcome to Mama Social, the podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kayleigh, and we're here to talk motherhood, womanhood and all things adulthood.
So grab yourself a bev and enjoy. You know what It
turns out me hanging 500 baubles everywhere, stressing out, cleaning, getting the glitter off the floor. If I find one more bit of that fake snow off a tree.
Why didn't I think of that in the first place? Instead of setting up the day as, no, don't do that,
Is there something wrong with you? Like, why am I in love with a broken human?
Do you want to know how many times I've watched that video of you singing on Facebook?
Which video? The taxi man was like, if this was his fault, this would be a very different conversation in this taxi right now.
I find myself falling into the whole thing of, oh, everyone else is gone. Mm-hmm. Oh, they've been. Maybe you'll enjoy it.
In grief, I'm very quite somber and still. We need to announce the winner?
We do. We need to announce the winner of the Pound Fun competition.
Should we get cracking?
Let's get cracking.
I really love how cosy we both look today.
Honestly, you look like a little Christmas parcel, which I'm very happy about.
It's Christmas. Should I tell you why?
Christmas. Should I tell you why?
We put our Christmas trees up.
Have you got yours up as well?
Yeah. I've seen you put yours up.
Yeah, I've got my Christmas trees up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Celeb has started.
Epic.
It's freezing.
Uh-huh.
Did you have bad snow at the weekend?
Did I have bad snow?
Like, honestly, I put the snow on my Instagram, right? And so many people that I know were messaging us like,
where do you live?
Yeah.
Snowmen.
Yeah. We had snowmen on the drive.
But then by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the rain had come.
It was all gone.
But it was about 3-4 inches.
Glenn couldn't get his car home. He'd been on night shift the night before and he had to abandon his car like halfway up our estate. So he couldn't get it up the hill.
Snow angels.
Yeah.
They were so excited. But I was at a baby shower by 12 o'clock that day. So I'd put in the group and a lot of the people were coming from Sunderland. Mm-hmm. And they were like, where? I thought you lived in Peatley. And I was like, I do? Mm-hmm. I was like, and took a picture and it was nothing.
Yeah.
So you are in Sunderland. It must have just been like,
it must have like
back end.
Just near the A19, just surrounding the A19. Yeah, because my mum's like 8 minutes away from me and she had not a little bit of snow.
Isn't that crazy?
And
clouds.
we were like the Antarctic.
It was. Freddie was so excited. We all had our pajamas on and we just went outside.
Yeah.
We walked to my mum's because I thought it's just there.
Yeah.
And have a cuppa.
Yeah.
And then we can walk back.
Nice. We had to do a family walk round to Glenn's car where he'd left it to get all of his work stuff out and bring it home.
No, it was lovely. I was taking the kids down the Lavricks on the afternoon and I was like, FYI, this won't be here in a couple of hours because the rain had just started. And Freddie was like, oh no. I was like, yeah. Because I've been saying for about a week, Sunday, we're putting the Christmas tree up. And isn't it like bizarre how everybody's attention span is so small? So like,
it's not bizarre to me. This has been my whole life. Why?
Like everyone's
Dale,
like really
the kids,
interested, we're in it,
and then they're just not.
And then I'm like, but I've got to clean the living room before I and I'll wash the skirting boards and I'll wash the windows. And Dale was like, but haven't you got that snow? I wanted like a snow window. He was like, what are you washing the windows for? I was like, I have no idea really, but I just want to know.
I want to do it anyway.
That it's here.
Yeah.
So by the time I'd got the trees physically up.
Yeah, like done the prep.
They'd put one bauble on and then it was like, right, can we go outside and play footy? Can we paint? Can we do? And I'm like, can we finish one job off? And then what was irritating is, and I don't know why I do it to myself, because every time there's like a big thing, it's never as good as you expect it to be. So Dale, I know he's not really into it, like, but he was horizontal the entire time. All he did was he went into the loft and got everything down. Mm-hmm. That was his contribution.
So what do you mean? As in, like, you imagine this
every
putting
year
up the
I'm
Christmas
like,
tree
and
in your head, and it just turns out, you know what I
it
always
turns out
think?
me hanging 500 baubles everywhere, stressing out, cleaning, like a house a mess, getting the glitter off the floor. If I find one more bit of that fake snow off a tree, like all over Freddie's socks, like, and nobody's into it really after half an hour. And that's it. And then I don't know why I get stressed.
Yeah. You
about
get yourself up a height a little bit.
Wanting it a particular way.
So you know what? I felt really bad this weekend. So I'd been saying to Oaks all week, like, we'll put the Christmas tree up at the weekend. We'll put the Christmas tree up. Da, 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 da. Anyway, I've had quite a shit week of parenting, right? It's just been a hard week.
I think we'll get into this in the pits and peaks.
We will. It's been a hard week. So it got to Saturday morning and we were like, right, let's get the Christmas trees out. Let's get them up. He was dead excited. Obviously, we got them down, but you get them out the box. You need to separate all the branches. You need to put the lights on.
There's a process.
I've got ribbons that I put round before you can start putting the baubles on. Obviously, he's dead excited. He just wants to start putting everything on. So from the start, we're like, no, Oaks, not yet. No, not there. No, don't do that. No, stop. And by the end of the day, obviously the whole day just kind of went to shit and it ended up in tantrums and like just being an all round shit day of parenting, where when we put them to bed on the night, me and Clem were just like, what? Like, what? And then I am the type of person where I'm like, right, what could I have done better?
Nothing.
But I could have.
Like what?
So this was my plan.
Okay.
I thought I should have got him his own little tree.
Oh, yeah.
That he could have decorated.
But you still can.
So, well, yesterday after work, I went and I just got a little tree, some little cheap decorations, and we went home and I went, Oaks, I've got you your own tree to decorate, one that you can do all by yourself. And he was so excited and he did it. And I thought, why didn't I think of that in the first place? Instead of setting up the day as, no, don't do that, like being like that, when I could have just gave him his own little thing.
It's just another thing to
in
think
hindsight,
about. Oh.
In hindsight, that is what I am going to do from now on. If anyone hasn't put their Christmas tree up yet,
get a kid's
maybe
version.
Do something like that.
Well, Eva was going on and on and on. So on Wednesday, I think, I finished work early and I went and bought some new decorations. And I went to the range and there were these little 3-foot white snowman Christmas trees. And on the top of the head was the snowman head and the rest. And I had like 3 black baubles as the coal. And I got some shitty baubles and I just, on Wednesday night, they went and decorated their own little rooms. But I need to get some lights because they're not pre-lit and they're just like on a night just looking at them.
Yeah.
But they love that. But yeah, it was just like, what I enjoyed was we didn't do anything yesterday. Normally I'm like, right, should I make a dinner as well? I always do more. Like, instead of just going, right, that part is enough for today, instead of trying to do a dinner or invite people around on the night or do something extra or going out for our dinner. And pick the kids up and I had this outfit on and I thought, that's coming off because I've had it on for 10 minutes. And I just put my pajamas back on. We had a full pajama day.
I love a pajama day.
And I did enjoy it, but Dale's not, what is it? It's a shit trait that he's got. And I don't know if anybody else has this. But if somebody tells him to do something, he will then add 10 minutes on to when he decides to do it. So he's always like, don't tell me to do something because I'll do it in my own time. And if you say, Dale, will you go and do the windows? He's like so good at drawing. I'm not. Like, go and do the windows. Him and his weird narcissistic brain tendencies will go, 10 more minutes. 10 more. You keep asking me, I'll add 10 more minutes on. I'm like, but why would you want to stress me out?
I wonder if that's just like a man thing.
Just Glenn do the same.
So, not all the time, but like I know what you mean. I feel like it's a scenario that's happened before. Like sometimes he'll start dragging his feet and then he'll start a whistle. Tunes. And then the rage starts to move up from my toes. Just he'll ever do that.
Like, no, but...
Like, I'll be like, come on, like, we need to do this, I need to do that. And then he'll like start, he's upstairs and he'll be like... Or he'll start like humming and I'm like,
what are you doing?
Oh my God.
No,
this is like the start of a horror movie.
Dale, since we've got together, has always said, don't tell me. You need to be... And he says it, I know I'm ridiculous, but don't tell me to do something because I'll not do it. He said, even if I know that you're right, his brain will go, I'll do it.
I wonder what kind of childhood trauma that is.
Horrendous. I hate it. I'm like, in therapy, can you talk about that? Because it's awful. So because he knew I really wanted, well, he's better now, but when we first got together, this is how bad it was, if he was like rubbing my leg or massaging my foot, watching the telly or something, and I'd go, oh, I love that. He'd stop. And I'd be like, is there something wrong with you? Like, why am I in love with a broken human? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, if somebody you love enjoys something, continue doing it. So now he doesn't do that anymore. He's obsessed with like touchy-feeliness.
You know
but
what?
now he's like,
listen, I think I've got a bit of this.
Oh my God.
I think I've got a bit because, right, Glenn absolutely loves, he's like back being scratched and tickled and stuff. And I don't know why, but I can't tell you how much I hate doing it. Like, I hate doing it. But sometimes if we are just lying and chilling, like, I might just start doing it. But if he asked me to do it, it would be the last thing that I would ever do.
Oh,
if he asked us,
Glenn, I
I'd
feel
be like,
for you.
absolutely not. Like, do not ask me to do that.
It's weird.
I'm a bit of Dale.
You
I
are.
wonder what that is.
To know.
I wonder why.
Yeah, so I ended up doing the window myself because I was like, I'm sick of asking. So he sprayed it.
Listen,
and then he had to wait 10 minutes for it to set.
To save you.
No one. That's why I did the presents myself.
Just do it yourself.
And then I did some baubles, right, hanging from the windows. And I thought, oh, I really like that. But then, Eva, can I help? Oh, no. So she was trying to do, I said, draw a square with your finger. I said, copy off Mummy that in a little, like a bow. I said, so simple. Hers looked like bloody Christmas pudding. She was doing round ones. And I just thought, oh, just roll with it.
Yeah.
Because mine were pretty crap. So now it just looks like her and Freddie did the whole window. But yeah, that was it. So should we get on to Pits and Peaks?
Go on then. Pits and Peaks.
Oh, I would like to present you with something.
Oh God, what? What?
Da-da-da-da.
What? Are you actually going to give me something?
A gift.
Oh no, what is it? Oh no, I'm the worst present receiver. I'm the worst present receiver in the world.
I've got two options for you.
Right.
Remember last week's hobby? I'm an artist.
Is it art?
It's art.
Have you got me some art?
Some Kayleigh Lavvo original.
Come on then.
Well,
I'm actually excited about this one.
So, can you think of what one of them may be called?
What do you mean?
I messaged you this morning when I couldn't.
Head in the clouds more. Spend more time in the clouds.
Spend more time in the clouds.
So this is an art piece called Spend More Time in the Clouds.
It needs a black, or it needs a
frame.
A frame, right? But, ready?
That's actually really nice. That's actually really nice.
So, me thought was, put it however you want.
I love that it's got a bit of iridescence.
But, right, so you're holding it the wrong way to how I drew it.
Oh, right, sorry.
But you can put it where... So to me, this was me looking out to sea, and the sun was rising and the clouds were peeping through. Spend more time in the clouds, Lauren.
I think I spend enough time in the clouds. I think I need to come down from the clouds, to be honest. But this is lovely.
But then I made another one.
Okay. So what, I get to pick which one I want?
Pick whichever one you want. I started trying to do one and it went wrong. So then I just explored more.
So this one went wrong.
It went wrong, right? But then I added paste.
Right.
What's it called?
Like
clear paste.
What?
You know, like where people draw. Anyway, I'll show you. This one's called Sound Waves. And again, ready?
Oh.
So we're at sea again. I've got an obsession with sea. And the sun is glitzing. But this is the sound waves.
I don't know which one I like better. Oh.
My mum came in yesterday.
Listen,
she was like,
how have you got time to do this?
I don't know. That was while doing the Christmas. So I finished Christmas. Everyone went on their iPads. And I was like, I'm going to do some painting.
I'm just trying to, I don't know if you've noticed this on my Instagram or anything, but my house is full of mixed tiles. So no, I'm not quite sure where one of these would go.
I think she doesn't really like them, guys.
No, I do like it, but I just don't know. Maybe in my downstairs toilet.
I also thought Sam might like that one.
Oh, do you prefer that one, Sam?
No, whichever.
Is it?
You don't.
Also, nobody needs to take any because my mum was like, I want that one.
Well, let's just think about that because I do really like them. So how long does this art take you?
So that was 3 days. That
3
that
days?
one.
3 days? Because you need to wait for it to dry.
You needed to wait. Like, that was the clay stuff. I had to wait over. Don't put your finger in it.
I've dinted it.
She's dinted the sound waves. Good God. No, she's fondling the sound waves.
It's still a bit tacky, that.
Oh,
Do you want to leave them there in case anyone wants to put any bids in? And if on YouTube, if people are watching, they might be like, maybe you'll be in an art gallery next year.
Imagine.
Maybe you're now Amanza from Selling Sunset.
So, kids went on their iPads. Dale was watching the footy.
Art.
I had a glass of Baileys because that's Christmas time. And who needs an easel? Who needs any of that? I was sat on the dining room table. I propped it up with, like a fake, so it was doing this one, a fake little basket, toy basket. Put a toy basket there, lent it on, and was like, right, let's do this.
Just imagine, yeah.
And my mum and dad came in. My dad was like, what are you doing now? I was like, I'm thoroughly enjoying art.
Do you want to know how many times I've watched that video of you singing on Facebook?
Which video?
So the video of you singing that's in the Mama Social members Facebook group. I have watched it so many times, and every time I watch it, I get little tears in my eyes.
Oh,
and that's not like me, but honestly, it makes it really emotional every time I watch it. Don't know. I'm just like, go on, girl.
Oh, I do miss singing. That's me. That's me thing.
I don't know why I went from painting to singing. I just thought about it.
Well, that's really nice that you just sit and watch it. I'll do your soundtrack.
I sat and watched it last night. Glenn was in the bath. I was just sat on the settee and I was doing something and I thought, I need to watch that again. And I was just sat watching it like, go on.
Yeah, I got asked to do the closing event. It was an awards do for women founders. And they asked us to sing. And I was like, last year I made the decision.
If I ever get married, I'm going to ask you to sing me down the aisle.
I've done that so many times for me, friends.
Can you do us a little rendition of Elvis? Wise man. That one.
Yeah.
That one.
I want that one. Mm-hmm. What's that off? That one. Want that one.
I don't know.
Little Britain?
Yeah.
Is it Little Britain? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll do that. Of course I will. Thanks. My only thing is I did one first dance, my cousin's first dance, and I was just so nervous all day I couldn't enjoy the day.
Yeah, well, if you're singing us down the aisle, it's the very beginning, so there you go.
The last time I did that was Nicola 2 years ago. Was that last year or the year before? Anyway, and I loved it. Really, really nice. What was funny is her husband had never, in London, so Rob's lovely, but we only met him a couple of times. And she was like, Kayleigh's going to sing us down. And he was like, is she?
Really?
Is she good enough? And she was like, I promise you, yes. So she said, just as she started singing, he looked at her. And I was looking at them because I remember this moment, and he just went, okay.
Okay then.
Okay, you were right. And I thought, imagine if he was like, Jesus shit. What you can do now?
I know. Imagine if you looked and they were like,
Stop! You shit.
Never.
But I fell out with Dale. Not for long, but he had one job that day, Lauren.
What was it? To video you, and he didn't video.
Didn't video.
You know,
Nobody videoed it. It's not anywhere.
I can imagine because it's such a big moment of the bride walking down the aisle and stuff. You don't want to be stood there with your phone out.
Well, actually, no, she didn't walk down the aisle. That's my apologies. It was in the middle, you know, when they would normally do like a reading or something. It was in the middle of the ceremony. So it was just after she walked down.
So someone could have videoed.
Yeah, him.
You could have just asked for someone else's.
Didn't want it.
Will you record me, wife?
Nicola was like, I actually like that it's nowhere else. And it was just them 80 people that were in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't.
I want to see it.
And the fact that these are me musical theatre friends. So there was some people in that audience that are still on the West End. And I'm like, you know so many people. And she's like, yeah, but I love your voice. And I'm like, oh, bless you.
Cute. This episode is sponsored by Pound Fun. Can we say the C word?
Absolutely. Say the C word.
Okay then, it's nearly Christmas, guys, and we know that Christmas can end up costing a small fortune, which is why we're very proud to be partnering up with Pound Fun.
Pound Fun are dedicated to providing budget-friendly, high-quality toys for children of all ages. They've been around since 2023, and their mission is to make the joy of play accessible to every family by offering a wide range of cheap toys that inspire creativity and learning.
And we have an exclusive 20% off code to save you even more, meaning you can nurture your child's imagination without breaking the bank. You can use code MAMA20 at the checkout.
That's MAMMA 20.
Right.
Anyway, so there's your art.
Pits and peaks.
Pit, Friday. I know I told you this. I was taking my mum out for the day. We were supposed to go to London. Things got booked up as in work, And she was like, she's not very well anyway. She's got a dicky heart. So originally we were going to go to New York because that's one of our bucket list things. Then it was, yeah, you're not going to be able to walk around New York in the freezing cold. So we changed it to London. She was really excited.
So New York, London, ended up in
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
And you know what?
I do like Newcastle.
She was like, we got the train and she was so friggin' excited.
Aww.
She hasn't been on a train in years. And it was just 45 minutes up the road, but she was like, didn't know what to do with herself. And then I took her to the Muddler, Asian. Stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I had a couple of glasses of wine.
One of them opening in Sunderland.
Is there?
Yeah.
Went Christmas shopping and it was just, I don't think I appreciate my mum enough because it's easy for me to kick off with that. Like, because we're so close. I know we often talk about we're the youngest of our
clan.
The clan. And we're lumbered with...
We're lumbered
with looking after our mums. And I think, especially my mum, says things to me that she wouldn't say to anybody else. She wouldn't say that to our Mark. She wouldn't say that to Kelsey. It's to me. And I'm like, my God. Anyway, it was just really lovely. And I just thought, I want to do more time with her on these little dates instead of just popping over for a coffee and talking about the same old shit. Like, my mum's really unwell with her heart. I'm actually, Mum, you listening? I love you. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's get out and do stuff.
Don't want to talk about the ailments.
No, like, I know you're not well. But that day, she didn't once mention it because it was exciting and we were building memories. So we were going to go and see Wicked in the cinema. And I was like, right, we've got to get to the cinema at 3:00. And she was like, oh, will you hate us if we go home? I'm knackered. And I was like, absolutely not. Let's go. Like, you've done more walking than you've done in months. Like, up and down, round and round. Like, let's
Did you
go.
get much shopping?
No.
No.
I went to Pandora, got the niece's Pandora bangle. And my mum got some trainers for Dale. And that was it. But to me, it wasn't really. My mum was like, come on, we've got to go shopping. I'm like, it's not really about the shopping. It's about actually spending time together outside of the mundane nonsense. Honestly, I loved it. So we need to book in. I said, let's just get the train to Leeds, York, like wherever. just one days. And she was like,
Yeah.
yes, please. She was going, I could do this with your dad as well, couldn't I? I was like, yes, but he will hate it.
Yeah, he'll hate every second.
They do.
Ruin the vibe.
So that was my peak. Me pit, Dale the Mood Hoover.
Mood Hoover?
The decoration Mood Hoover we spoke
Mood
about.
Hoover, yeah.
It was just like,
That's a great way of
and you
putting
know
it.
why? It was because he was hungover. So I said, don't you ask me to go out with you again. Oh, I messed up. We did another hobby at the weekend.
What now?
We went go-karting.
Oh, did you enjoy?
Hated it.
Did you?
The
Why?
first one I hated. I did 5 laps and went, oh, not for me. Can I
Why
come
are
off?
you too careful?
I just wanted to, I was going really fast in my head. I looked at the timings. I was 22 seconds to get round the thing. Dale's 18. And there was like a couple of people on with us. And I was just having a nice time. You full get up, like the Stig. And some twat bumped into us because obviously I was driving too slow. Went round a corner and they bumped us and it scared us.
Yeah.
Because I was
It's not worth losing your life over.
Nah, I was like,
Not to be
oh my God.
not to be dramatic, but I feel the same about like rides and stuff now.
What's the
where I'm
point?
like, it's just not worth my life. You hear too many like horror stories. I don't want to die in these moments.
Well, while we were waiting, this little young'un was on. You have to be 8, so it was a birthday party. It must have been 12 or something. They had to stop the thing because he'd smashed into one of the bollards, winded himself, and came out and he was like crying. And I was just like,
Not for me.
Dale loved it.
Yeah.
He stayed on. And then I had an ick. There was another man on with us. And he had his own helmet. He obviously comes quite regularly.
Did it have his name on?
Don't know, but it was all an ick. And then he stood. There was like a big screen TV with like the lap times but times for the whole week and stuff. And he was stood. He was about 45, so close because he clearly didn't have his glasses on. So close, looking at the telly, waiting for. And him and Dale were like racing each other the whole time round. I could just see it. And he must have thought, I've won this. Dale sat down, taking his nut arse, and I'm like looking at the telly. And I was like, oh, I did 22 seconds. And he was like there with his phone, like ready to take a picture of his time. And Dale was the 4th fastest over the entire week. So Dale was on this like top thing, and he just was like, walked back off. And I was like, ick.
Oh.
Ick. I don't know why you want to take a picture. And
I
also,
feel sorry for him because that was going to have made his day
Oh, I know.
or his week.
Yeah, he wanted to be on the. He wanted to beat Dale.
Sexy me home.
So I messed up because then Dale was like, let's go into Durham, leave the car, and we'll get a taxi, and in the morning we'll come and get the car. So went out, had a few drinks, had some nice tapas. The taxi picked us up. We drove to my car because I took because he was like, let's see if we can get in Indigo and just sleep for the night. And I was like, oh, dear me. So I took me a go bag just in case. But we weren't staying because everything was fully booked. So taxi brought us back to the car. I got my bag, got in the car, drove to Peatley. And then as we were coming down the A19, I was like, do you have a key for the house?
No.
And Dale was like, you have the key. I was like, I don't have the key. I've got the car key. Where's the key? And he was like, you are taking the piss. And
Your mum not got a key?
well, 2 days before that, our lock had broke. So we had the lock changed so nobody else had the keys. And I was like, well, what do we do? And he was like, I am not driving back to Durham to get the key. I was like, we'll stop at my mum and dad. So I went to my mum's, dropped off the gear. I was like, give us a key, we'll sleep in the spare bedroom tonight, but we're going back to the pub. She was like, you are not, you're coming in now. I'm not waiting for yous. And I was like, oh, bye. Got on the taxi. The taxi man was like, if this was his fault, this would be a very different conversation in this taxi right now. And I was like, well, what we're going to do? I said, we can stop in a hotel in Peatley, like one of the little shitty B&Bs. Got down to the pub. Dale had rang his sister. She is like epic. brownie points forever. She was finishing work from prison officer, drove to Peatley from Teesside, got our car key, drove to Durham by herself.
No, she didn't.
Picked up our house key, come back to the pub and dropped off our
Did you
house
pay
key.
her?
Dill's rewired her entire new house.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Done all the plumbing.
Yeah.
Got all the lads to do the skimming. Like, she's had thousands of pounds off us.
That's, yeah.
So I think she'd do it anyway because she's such a nice human, but I think she's just gone, yes, I'll do that for you. So yeah, I messed up, but Simone Laverick to the rescue. She's just epic.
Well done.
Yeah, it was fun. So yes, he was a mood hoover because he was hungover. Because now Dale's into wine with me.
But then
he'll
I
have
feel like
wine
you can't
and
be annoyed
lager.
about that because you were out with him.
Yeah, I was out with him, but I knew we had Christmas the next day.
It's your own doing. You shouldn't have gone out and had fun. Had fun. Shouldn't have.
Shut up.
Because I feel like you could be annoyed if he went out with the lads the night before and then was hungover lying on the floor. Not on the floor. I mean, if he was lying on the floor.
But the thing is, I was hungover the next day for the first part of the morning. But then you have to become a mum and just switch it on.
So I couldn't do that, so I failed Dale.
Yeah, because you have
I'm
an
not
allergy
good.
to alcohol.
Yeah.
Dale does not.
I can't parent.
He had wine, lager, cider,
Ew.
and shots at the end of the night. We had a baby Guinness.
I do like it.
Finished the night off.
Actually.
Anyway, I have waffled on enough, but that was my week.
That was your week.
Yours?
Pits and peaks. Pit is that it's just been a hard week of parenting.
Yeah.
It's just been hard. I just feel like it's just been a week of not being listened to and fighting for simple things. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just been a hard week, an exhausting week. And I'm still getting up in the middle of the night every night to feed Orvie, and like, I just feel knackered. Absolutely knackered.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Can we tell the story of what happened on, was it Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday.
Lauren rang.
Oh, I rang Kayleigh and just cried. I just cried.
We both had glasses of wine.
Yeah, I honestly had like half a bottle of wine in a glass. Probably more than that, and down the full lot before I put myself to bed because the night was nothing short of traumatic. Like, honestly, it was just such a bad night of parenting. Like, I went to some Christmas lights, like local Christmas lights, and in my head, I just knew that we weren't going to have a good time, and I wasn't really planning on booking anything like this. But then I find myself falling into the whole thing of, oh, everyone else is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they've been. Like, maybe you'll enjoy it. So I did. I took the kids to the lights with me mum because Glenn was on night shift. And I just wish I'd never bothered. I just really wish that I'd never bothered.
It goes back to that thing at the start about you expect something to be something.
Yes, you expect something. But sorry, Mum, if you're listening. My mum just didn't help either. And it was just an awful night. I had an awful night. Like, Oaks just wasn't interested. My mum just wanted to be getting photos and videos. Oaks was fuming that there was a camera in his face. It ended up in us leaving, Oaks having an absolute fit on the floor, on the side of the road, and having to be like pinned back into the pram, like double pram, while we walked back to my mum's, which is like a 25-minute walk. And he banshee screamed the whole time. Like, banshee screamed. Like, so then I'm pushing this double pram with two screaming kids because Ovie was trying to go to sleep and Oaks kept elbowing him by accident because he's flinging himself about. Just walking home, just fighting back the tears. It was an awful night.
It's when, like, it's that awful time in the evening as well. After tea.
Yeah.
Like,
so again, like, I don't know why I bothered. I feel like I knew, not that I shouldn't have done it, but I just knew that it wouldn't be a good time if we did go.
Yeah.
But I succumb
To the
to
pressure.
the pressure of being this perfect parent on Instagram. Honest to God, if you'd...
I've not even seen a picture, so you haven't even posted anything, have you?
No. I could show you
Oh, no, I know.
some of the... My mum sent us some pictures later.
But they're just like
I
this.
didn't even get my phone out of my pocket. But my mum managed to get a couple. Yeah, they're just...
My favourite part of this evening was how much your donuts were.
£7.
Mental.
£7 I paid for 10 mini donuts. He asked us for them and I thought, right, this is going to be the start of like the night getting better. He's going to eat these donuts and then he's going to like get in a better mood. But then he kicked off that there were little donuts and not big donuts.
Dinky donuts.
So he didn't want them. So that just made everything just even worse. It was just a really bad night. And honestly, I got the kids in the car when we got to my mum's and we all just cried the whole way home in the car. Like Oaks was still screaming, Ovi was crying, and I was just in the front like,
What is the point?
I know. So then Oaks fell asleep in the car.
That's the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, Oaks fell asleep in the car. So I got Ovi out, then dumped Oaks on the sofa, went upstairs, put Ovi to bed, came back down. Oaks was still just flat out. I managed to get his like wellies and his coat off. I managed to sit him on the toilet, like asleep, and he had a wee. And then I just dumped him into bed, poured myself the biggest glass of wine you've ever seen, and cried to Kayleigh, and then went to sleep.
And then you started all over again
the next day. Honestly, it's just been a week of that.
Yeah.
Of like frustration and not being listened to and like defiance. And I don't know, I keep thinking like, is the stuff that I could be doing better? Like, am I giving them enough attention? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's just a phase.
Yeah, I do like think it's just a phase as well, but like, I don't know. It's been a really hard, a really exhausting week. And then I think when you're with, like, when I'm by myself or when I'm with Glenn, obviously we just deal with it. But when I'm with someone else, so like my mum, I'm also on edge at what my mum's going to be thinking. So like, if Oaks is acting like a 3-year-old, I'm thinking, oh my God, my mum's going to be thinking he's really naughty. Oh, my mum's going to be like saying this to us later. Like, and it just gets us like up a height. It was just a bad effing night. But yeah, hopefully.
So lesson learned
New
from that.
week.
Park closer so that you didn't have to walk.
I know. Lesson learned, just don't effing do it. Like, unless you know that your kid is actually going to really, really enjoy that.
What's the point?
He would have enjoyed it if we'd went with like his cousins and that. I think 2 years ago, I think I succumbed. Is that a word? Succumbed to the pressure of all the Christmas activities and wanting to book this for Christmas, that for Christmas, this for Christmas. And I remember doing them, and every single one we did, me and Glenn were like, what the F? Why have we spent nearly 100 quid coming to this torture? And we were like, we're never ever doing that again. Like, we're never doing this again. Like, we went to see Santa at Bamborough Castle thinking it's going to be magical, gorgeous. It was so shite, and all that money and all that way, like, ridiculous. Then we did the Polar Express, which was quite good, but Oaks was at an age where he didn't want to sit still for long.
Yeah.
So we were like, right, we'll revisit that in a few years' time. So we're doing that again this year.
I'll tell you one thing you should do.
His cousins.
There's one thing you should do.
What?
The UK Lapland.
The UK Lapland.
So
Where
good.
even is that?
Aintree. It's near there.
Is it?
It's so
I
good.
suppose something like that would be
And we just stayed in it
be good.
was called The Village, just like a posh Premier Inn. And we went with all of our best friends.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's an experience. So it's all in these woods. And you go into all these cabins and it's like real actors. Oh, it was so good. That's one thing that I would say, especially when Ovi's
a little bit older.
3, 4.
Yeah.
But Eva
They'll
can
probably do
remember
that
it
at some point.
if you can remember.
And yeah, I think it would be best, you would have to do like a stopover.
Yeah.
And
But
stuff.
it was expensive. It's a lot cheaper than going to actual Lapland. But it was
nice. Moving on, peak of my week is Christmas trees are up. My media wall is no longer lilac. I've had salmon sperm injected under my eyes. There you go. Peaks.
I really don't know what it's going to do.
What?
The salmon sperm. Does it just puff everything out?
No, so it's the closest DNA to human DNA.
Shut up.
So it helps regenerate everything.
You would think a monkey.
Makes everything look better. I don't know. Don't ask me sciencey things.
We've got to be closer to a chimp than a salmon.
That is the reason that we have started injecting this stuff, is because it's a very close match to our DNA.
People are weird. Like, not you. Somebody, a scientist, has gone, I think this might be a good thing to do. And then they've gone off and researched it. Mm-hmm. And then they've gone, yes, let's sell this. Isn't that weird?
I do feel like the science behind all of like aesthetic treatments and stuff is very interesting. So I had some training at work last week, and we did obviously polynucleotides, which is salmon sperm, and exosomes, which is bovine colostrum.
Who?
So it's basically cow's breast milk.
Oh.
That you put all over your face and look gorgeous. This podcast is sponsored by Pretty Mama Maternity. Breastfeeding mamas, we've got something that's going to change your life.
Pretty Mama have an amazing selection of breastfeeding clothing, from sweatshirts to t-shirts and even t-shirt dresses.
Their discreet zips open diagonally so that you can breastfeed with confidence, comfortably, knowing that you're covered.
They're easy to wear and trendy, and will see you through breastfeeding and beyond.
You can use our discount code MAMA15 for 15% off site-wide.
That's MAMMA15.
Anyway, so cards. Thank you for sharing your pits and peaks. Today's topic is about loss and grief. Now, when I think about that,
What?
loss and grief, I feel like everybody obviously deals with it in a different way. But I was thinking about yesterday, because I'd put the tree up, how different my experience of Christmas and traditions are now compared to when my grandparents were here.
Uh-huh.
And how when you lose a grandparent and all of you are so close to the grandparent, that it's like you've pulled the thread of the family apart, and then everybody starts doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember the last time all of my cousins were together. But that used to be like a weekly thing.
Yeah,
Sunday lunch
would all go to,
and Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And the thing that held us all together, the core of the family, they're not there on either side now. So like even Dale's family, we used to spend so much time with them. And now there's only one auntie and uncle that spend time with. And it's like how do you then, is that just normal? Like,
I think it is normal. Because then I feel like obviously families grow and evolve. Mm-hmm. And obviously then we lose some people. But then there's the new family. So now like your mum is the nana, the glue. And you and your brother and everyone's kids will all go there.
She doesn't want us there. She just wants to come to my house.
Well, you're the glue then.
I feel like I'm the glue.
You're the thread.
I haven't got time for the family drama, so I take a step back from most of it. But like I'd love, because I love hosting, I love cooking, and I would love to say to all the extended family, I'll do a fake Christmas dinner for everybody. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I don't. I've said it for a few years.
No, I don't, yeah. Well, I've wanted to host Christmas for a few years, and I finally am this year. Well, I think I am anyway. I think Glenn's mum's being a bit defiant about it. I think she thinks that it's too much.
Not if she brings stuff.
to do. So I don't really know what's happening, but I'm definitely having all of my family over for tea. Because I do like when you're younger and all of your family were in one place. Like I feel like that hasn't happened for years because as everyone's grown up, everyone goes and does their own thing. So it's either been like my brother at my mum's for Christmas dinner or for tea, and then my sister would do the opposite. So we were never all together like the whole day.
Yeah.
And like I miss that. I do miss that. So I've thought, well, I'm going to have to be that. I mean, it might be a once and never again situation because
you're not allowed to microwave the mashed potato. Look
I
at that face.
No, I actually won't.
Hold on, in my head, you're going to microwave it and then put it in a pan and look like
no, I
you've done
actually
it.
do want to make some proper mash.
Good. Put the cream in.
Yeah.
Like, I always remember me now, Johnny, like a cousin, used to sit next to each other at Christmas dinner at Mama's, and the crackling would always just be on the table, and me and him would just get a jug, wasn't even fancy, a jug of gravy, and just be dipping it in the gravy and smashing it in our faces, not wanting to share any of it. And like, that's like a core memory of Christmas Day, me and Johnny, like eating the crackling and pulling the crackers, and there was always an argument and always a something. But my mum and my mama, my mum used to say, I never enjoyed Christmas. It was stressful having 20 people in the house.
I don't think adults do enjoy Christmas that much. I do think that Christmas is about the kids and making the memories for them, like the core memories. Like, because you do think back at Christmas and I think of like obviously opening my presents that were all over the city on the morning and then going to get ready for all the family coming over for dinner. Because Christmas Day, my mum was always the host. Everyone would come to ours for dinner. Well, most of the family would come to ours for dinner. My nana was always at me mum's for dinner. And then the rest of the family would come over and join us for tea.
Yeah.
So there was always a lot of people in the house. And I mean, I don't know if my mum ever enjoyed it. And she would be fast asleep by like 7 o'clock. Absolutely flat out, or she'd end up like having a sneaky little nap during the day, accidentally falling asleep after a couple of glasses of wine, and then have to spring back up to put some prawns and that on the table.
It's mad how much food you eat though.
Yeah.
So like we're going out and then everyone comes, like everyone we're out for dinner with, and then Dale's auntie and uncle comes over and possibly their son Joe comes over, and we have tea and we play games, and the boys always get so drunk, which stresses Dale's mum out. And I'm just like,
just let it be.
Just let it be. But I do think next year I want to cook again instead of going out, because the kids are getting older. They'll want to just play with their toys instead of getting ready and going out. And
that's another reason that I wanted to host this year, because for the last few years we've kind of went here, there and everywhere, and I've shipped Oaks about to all different houses, and I feel like it would just be nice for him, for everyone to come to us and for him to be able to play with stuff. And
so it's like, we're in that transitional period of finding the new traditions as everyone has their own families.
Yeah.
Thinking of all the people that have passed that you would love to spend the time with. That's just crazy.
I wonder why, like, you know, obviously people die all the time.
Yeah.
Why do you think about them more at Christmas?
Because I
you know
think
what I
that's
mean?
a time that normally you would see people.
Yeah.
So like them special moments, like at weddings, there's always a toast in the speech to people who are no longer with us. And like, I know that was one of the factors when we moved our whole wedding to Mexico, because we booked it at Doxford Park. No, that's a factory. What's it called? Doxford Hall. And Mama died. And then there was lots of stresses about who's coming and whatnot. And I was like, the only person really that I want there and to have it here because she wouldn't be able to fly. She's not here, so let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like them influential people that you have in your life, you want to share that moment with. And if they're no longer there, you're still thinking about them.
Yeah.
Like I'm quite, even though I'm really open, too open with me thoughts sometimes. In grief, I'm very quite somber and still. I remember at my ma's funeral, she was so well loved and well liked. There was like standing room at there was people outside. It was crazy, and we were in the cars with my cousins, and everyone was hysterical because everyone deals with it differently.
Yeah, everyone does. Well, everyone does deal with.
But I'm like, I don't want to walk in that chapel, wherever it was, and for people to be looking at us and me being inconsolable. Like, I want to be still and I want to be present. And it's not the way that I thought, because I'm so expressive. It's not the way that I thought I would grieve, but I am very muted. I remember one of my cousins being like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? And I'm like, do not try and insinuate, because I'm not externally showing. Don't get it twisted that I'm not crying in the shower or crying as I'm pouring a cup of tea by myself. Like, everyone deals with it differently. And it's just, we always need to just be aware of how people deal with it differently and allow them to do it.
Yeah.
No judgment. But it's getting to that time in the year where I do actually think a lot about people that we've lost. There's one of the mums have just done a blog, one of our parent leads, just done a blog about, what's it called, the title, but basically meaning she didn't think she would be parenting without her mum. So how to parent when you haven't got your mum there to like shadow or ask advice, and it's such a beautiful, she's wrote it incredibly. But it's like, like
I do think like a mum must be such a huge loss, and I can't imagine it. And I do really feel for people that have lost a mum, even though I have lost a parent. Like, I've lost my dad, but I never want to say anything that's going to sound bad, but I feel like I would feel a lot different if I lost my mum. But I do also think that that's because I lost my dad a long time before I lost my dad. Like, my dad was gone.
He was not your dad
before
anymore.
He was gone.
And it was a bit of a peace. It was, and you wouldn't keep a dog the way your dad was.
Unless people have experienced Alzheimer's. Obviously, my dad had Alzheimer's and he suffered with it for a good
10 years?
Maybe going on 10 years. And it was a relief. And I think unless you've experienced that disease firsthand, then you might think that it's a little bit cold to say that, or you might be a bit like, what? But it's an awful disease. It's cruel. And the way that my dad lived the last years of his life,
it's not living, is it?
It's not living. He couldn't move. He couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. He was a 6'4" man who'd been a roofer builder all of his life, covered in tattoos. The manliest man you would ever have met in your whole life, lying in this bed like a fetus. Like, that disease took my dad. Like, it took him. It took him away. There was not a picking of him left. Then, so I feel like obviously my experience with grief is that was a relief. And I don't think I'll ever, I don't actually feel bad for saying it, but I worry that other people think of us badly. But I shouldn't worry about that, because if you haven't been in that situation, then you do not know. But it was a relief. Knowing that he wasn't living like that anymore. Because, it's not a nice disease. And I have started to worry that it'll happen to me.
Don't worry about things that don't even exist right now.
Well, and I think that is the thing about like grief. Everyone does just have to deal with it in their own way, and everyone's got their own coping mechanisms and stuff. And it is important to talk about it if you want to.
Yeah, it's if you want to.
If you want to, because some people don't.
Like,
and I feel like every death would be so different. Like, depending who it is, how they've died. Do you know what I mean? Like every death would just be so different. Like you're not going to grieve the same way twice.
No, because you don't have the same relationship with every person, so you're going to feel it differently.
Yeah.
Anyway, wow.
Deep.
Gets deep. We can go deep, but it's all about having that space, like you've just said, to talk. And it's finding the people that you can talk to without judgment, I think, is important.
Very.
So,
Anywho,
here we are. You want to do your
Share your shit. Share your shit.
hello, you two. I emailed previously about my 2 miscarriages and about cleaning my ears a lot like Lauren. Well, I had a D&C 2 weeks ago, and I was recently told my partner's brother and sister-in-law are due the very week before our due date would have been. This has thrown my recovery completely, as I feel it will make things worse. Now, I am genuinely thrilled for them, but it has just honestly threw me. Have you any advice apart from listening to your pod, which has been helping me heal? Also, frozen fish fingers are fine, Lauren. Just make sure they are cod. They're better quality. Many thanks. From a Brummie.
a Brummie?
A Brummie.
So a D&C is
She's had
a miscarriage and they've surgically had to take the baby.
I think so, yeah.
We think.
Yeah.
My first thing would be we have better help that you can have access to.
Yeah.
To help with the transition of getting over the grief and the loss, and then the people around you, like your brother and your sister-in-law, or your brother-in-law and his, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have a little bit of patience with you.
Yeah.
And if you need to take time away,
Yeah, that would be my advice.
You
So
need to
I
tell
have
them.
had, one of my best friends has been in this situation a few
many
times.
yeah.
And what I used to always say to her is, you do whatever you need to do to protect your peace and you. And if you need to not turn up for things, and if you need
Like
to
baby showers, or
and if you need to take a step back from your brother and sister-in-law while they're pregnant, then you do that. You need to do what you need to do to protect yourself. And if the people around you don't understand that, F them.
and you don't need them people around you.
Because people around you won't understand, because they don't know what you're going through, but they don't have to be arseholes about it.
Yeah, like they can be patient with your recovery and not making it into their story and making it into their drama.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't want to come and see her niece. Da, da, da. Well, no, because tell the full picture and allow each person to go through whatever they need to.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
She'll come
And I feel like,
round.
and don't try and force yourself to be in any situations that you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
Because if you do think that something's going to be a trigger, then again, protect your peace, look after yourself. Don't put yourself in those situations that you know are going to upset you, and you're going to have an awful day, an
I
awful
also
time.
think your partner needs to protect you. So he can't be forcing you to do things that, you know, being concerned about other people's opinion in these situations
I think
are
irrelevant.
irrelevant.
I think in these situations, other people you just don't need to think about other people. All you need to do is think about yourself and think about how you need to recover. And
Because you don't know yet. Like, you might get to that point where brother and sister-in-law has had a baby and your recovery, you're well into the recovery stage, and you might be prepared. At this moment, you can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Just go through each day. And I heard something, was it today or yesterday? I can't remember. About get to acceptance faster. So don't mull on the what ifs get to the acceptance quicker so recovery can happen.
Yeah.
Because I know...
But I feel like that's probably one of those things that's a hell of a lot easier said than done
absolutely.
when you're in that situation.
100%. Like, I didn't lose a child, but a lot of my therapy was the why me? Why did that happen to me and Eva? Why? And a lot about the decisions that I made during delivery that nearly killed me and Eva. Like, there was a lot of looking back and I didn't realise how much damage that was doing to me until my therapist one week was just like, can we move forward from this moment? And what do you need to do to actually move forward and know that this is horrendous right now, but to get past it, you need to accept it and move forward. And that it's a journey that'll happen at some point, and that might happen before your brother has his baby. Yeah. And you might be ready.
And I feel like as well, moving forward,
she's just done air quotes.
In what they're called?
Air quotes?
Air quotes.
Isn't that a silly thing?
Moving forward,
bunny things,
doesn't always have to be you're just moving forward. No. Like, I feel like you will move forward and then you might have a step back.
But you're moving forward might be, think of a maze, like forward, back, round. It's not a straight path.
Yeah.
Like, recovery in whatever state is a journey that only you will go on, and your partner will be going through a different one. You need to just make sure that you meet at some point in the recovery. So it always goes back to communication.
Communication.
With everybody around you.
Yeah. And it's what, like, communication with the people around you. So be open and honest with them about how you're feeling so that they know what they can and can't say in front of you and stuff like that. So again, just avoid things that are going to trigger you. Avoid conversations that are going to trigger you. Avoid places that are going to trigger you. Situations. Avoid triggers.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And thanks for making us feel better about fish fingers. I do always get the cod ones, which is a little bit annoying because they are like £7 to £10 a packet.
More money.
But I do always get cod.
I got Marks and Spencer's cod ones. They were
posh.
So long. They were about this long.
I don't know how I feel about a long fish finger.
It was like 2 fish fingers stuck together. And the kids smashed them in.
Did they?
They were so thick. And I was like, oh, I just really want to always buy food from Marksy's. Anyway, thanks. So, my fact of the week.
Come on then.
Fact of the week.
In the early 20th century, parents were told to not play with or amuse their babies too much. The idea was that babies' daily routine was enough stimulation for their brain and that they would help reduce infant mortality. Can you not remember when we were kids? I have this really vivid thing. Somebody had had a baby and I went to tickle them and I got told off a little bit because you weren't supposed to tickle babies. And I have lived in this false narrative for 30 years before I was a mum. And then somebody was like tickling Freddie when he was a baby. And I was like, no. They can't laugh like that yet. He might die. Like, they can't have the stimulation of tickling. Like,
I do
and
remember.
then Dale Googled it and he was like, that's not true.
I do remember reading somewhere that, like, you shouldn't tickle babies' feet because they can't, like, handle it or something.
But it's not true.
I feel like I need to Google it.
So I think this is around, like, this sort of thing, like too much stimulation.
Can you tickle babies' feet? Yes.
But honestly, it was a thing that
proper tickling should be strictly reserved until your little one grows up to be a kid who can communicate well. So you're tickling your baby's feet, right? And they might absolutely hate it. And they might be thinking, like, you need to stop that right now. I really don't like this feeling. But they can't tell you, so you shouldn't tickle your baby's feet.
Crazy.
What?
But yeah, I think that's shouldn't amuse the babies too much. I honestly think, though, my kids are so independent and like self-sufficient with play because I didn't like sit on the mat every single waking moment of the day and be like, stimulate them and play with them.
Yeah.
They've always been like Freddie and Eva, if you held them too long, would be like, put me the hell down, if they could speak. They'd just get ratty and twisty, and as soon as you put them down, they go, oh, Jesus, thank God. Like, I just think every baby is made differently.
Yeah.
But I wanted my kids to be independent with their play. Like Eva said yesterday, will you play with me when I was finishing this off?
Yeah.
And I was like, I really don't want to, but she never asked me. So I was like, yes, what do you want to play? She was like, with my Play-Doh. And I was like, well, that's quite a solo task, Eva. Why don't I sit and finish my painting and you do your sculptures? She's like, yes, let's do that. So she's like sat next to us building this tower and I'm finishing your sound waves. But no, like, and it wasn't like a decision that I came to. I just realised that I didn't want to be stuck having to entertain at all times. Thoughts?
Don't know. What century are we in now?
21st.
Oh. So this was like in the 90s.
This is our century, yeah.
So this is what?
Great insight from Lauren Causa over here.
I don't think I have much to say. So what? So we're not playing with our babies so that they don't die?
The
I
idea
feel
was
like
that
it's quite,
baby's
I
daily
feel like it's
routine
quite
was
a dramatic fact.
stimulation for their brain and that this would help reduce infant mortality. They were just
So
clutching at straws on...
Do people think that if a baby is overstimulated...
Not now, but back then they did.
Or it wasn't that long ago.
They're just mad.
Well, to be honest, sometimes I think if I'm overstimulated that I'm going to die, so...
We were talking about it the other week about how... Imagine experiencing something for the first time.
Yeah.
Like that baby has never done anything. Like, one, how frustrating it is, how rewarding it is. Like, I do get, like, if they're then sat, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They don't need tons and tons and tons of stuff to do.
Oh, I agree.
Anyway, here we are. We find ourselves at the end of the episode.
Yes, we do. And honestly, I feel like I need a nap.
You always need a nap.
I feel like that one's been a bit of a...
It was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster of emotions.
How are we
Most of
going to
mine were
name this
negative.
one?
I know. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved, then please do so. You can drop us a message or an email at podcast@mamasocialco.com. And if you would like to rate and leave a review wherever you listen, that would be bloody lovely.
Gorgeous. Oh no! Come back to me!
Oh,
Come back! We need to announce the winner.
we do. We need to announce the winner of the Pound Fun competition.
So Pound Fun beautifully give us 5 £100
£100 vouchers.
which is like epic.
Yeah.
And especially how cheap Pound Fun is, you're going to get a shitload of stuff.
Yeah.
So our Julie has done a, what they called?
Like
Generator.
a comment generator to pick the winner.
So the winner is ever the professional, Mrs. Branford, Hinched Home. And then I think she's tagged like all of her friends who are cleaners,
Lovely.
which I
If
love.
anyone wants to, if is anyone local, do they want to come and clean my house?
So the winners are Mrs. Branford, but then she's tagged Made to Clean, Sparkly Cleans with Lindsay, Lauren's Home and Clean with Katie. Well done, girls.
Well done.
And thank you to Pound Fun again. That's really going to help lots of people. But we had over 300 people apply.
Mhm.
What's it called? Enter. Thank you. But remember, 20% off with Mama 20. We'll put it in the show notes. But you can still get...
Yeah, you can get loads from
Loads.
there, and they are brilliant, like little stocking fillers and stuff, and you can get a lot for your money.
So there we are. Now we can leave.
Now we can.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. This episode of Mama Social, the podcast, was filmed and produced by Flamingo Heights Podcast Studio.
Lauren, I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I don't like
Why
you
you saying
soon,
Lauren?
soon.
Just say see you soon.
Steve.
Because we're talking to our listeners.
Oh.
See you soon.